It's amazing.
Don't lie to me.
Thank you very much, Trevor. I'm Pulse. I am joined, of course, by the jungler of Origin. It is amazing out here. Now, that win was pretty clean-cut when it got down to it, but I want to go a little into the past with Champion Select. Did you guys get everything that you wanted? Because then Diamond, he didn't pick the meta jungler, he went for the Nidalee, and then we also had the Taro pickup as well. You guys focused out Capishot.
We actually didn't get what we wanted, but it was an alteration of our comp that we wanted to play, so it was fine for us to pick the Vladimir again, to pick like the Rex that we played in the Challenge Series finals already instead of the Gragas. So we're completely fine with the picks that were coming in for us. I was kind of caught off guard that he actually prioritized the Nidalee as a blind pick, which I think is not that good, because like Gragas Rex just beat everyone in team comp wise and in skirmishes usually. So. But overall, we're kind of fine with what we had.
Yeah, it definitely seems to work out for sure in game. I kind of want to get your thoughts on the Taric though, because this is the second time we've now seen it. Yeah, and it had an interesting result. Do you think it's worth it in the current meta, because we're seeing so many lane swaps, which you did in game as well? Is it worth picking the Taric?
I don't think so. Like, simply because Taric is so one-dimensional that, and that's something you can't trespass. Like, well, it doesn't even matter which comp you play, it doesn't matter how you play. Like, Taric is too one-dimensional to be a competitive pick right now, and that's just how it is.
All right, so I want to ask one more question here. Last week when you guys faced Fnatic, you argued with your team saying that we could have beaten them. What do you think that you need to change to challenge the top three coming into the rest of the split?
Practice harder, practice better, and just execute.
Well, there you have it. Thank you very much, amazing. Feel free to rejoin your team, and congratulations once on that win. So we're going to shoot it over to the analyst to break down the rest of that game.
Thank you so much, Pulse. Yeah, that Herr Stuckenschneider, practice harder, practice better, and
get executed in the jungle.
And get executed in the jungle. Probably not. No, but it is quite interesting, because we keep talking about, or you keep talking about what are the things that a top team needs. For them, it seems to be still quite focused on just practicing and getting better at the basics. They are, after all, a first split in the LCS team.
Yeah, and if we see at what's working for them, well, we hear the crowd go nuts over, I presume, Fnatic getting on stage. What's working for OG here is the draft, and what's not working for Gambit, in my opinion, is the draft, because on first rotation they picked Corki Nidalee when Kalista was open, because OG just simply picked Alistar first rotation and said, well, we don't care, you're not going to pick Kalista, Forgiven doesn't play that champion, so they got Alistar, Kalista, and a tier 1 jungler, while Gambit opted for the blind Nidalee, and it's just, you dig yourself in such a deep hole, and then you need to outplay to get out of it.
Yeah, well, it has worked for Gambit in the past, sometimes changing the meta, especially from that jungle out. So what factors do have to work? Do you need to have a base of meta champions, and then you can have a new pick in there, or a different pick? Or do you just, in the case of Gambit, knowing that you're still working on your team, need you go all standard?
That's about as many questions as Gambit need to fix in play right now when it comes to their picks and bans. It's interesting. Pulse talked to Amazing there about the Taric. The Nidalee is a little bit of an odd, not an oddball. It's still good, but as you said, Rek'Sai was available. Just Gambit's pick and ban just didn't really sit well. I can see what they were trying to do with the first two picks, but then to try and pull that off is so difficult when you're letting so many tier 1 picks go away.
The reason you can play meta champion is because there's so many examples of how to play them. If you go off the grid, then you need to play differently, and you see that there's a bit of shot calling issues on the side of Gambit, and that's exemplified in our first replay. If we can get that on your screen right now, we see a repeat of what Giants did last week against H2K. They grouped up in the top lane and they tried to sneak under that tower, but yet again they did the same thing. So on the top lane, we know what happened. They're going to aggro on Pepper, and they're going to force him off, and they're going to deny the creeps. So this is so bad for Gambit. However, they have one saving grace. I think Soaz should have teleported here, and that's why I wanted to see that replay, because we've seen it. Forgiven, that's two and a half waves. That's like 16 creeps almost that he denies to that tower that Soaz could have picked up. Imagine if Soaz teleported down to the bot lane. Gambit would have just straight up lost the game. Right there. Game over. No comeback possible, because with Capishot down, Gambit seems to struggle, and that would have put Soaz roughly in a full level XP advantage, in addition to what he had already gained. So he'd be the 1.5 levels plus the lane control ahead against Capishot. That would have been straight up game over.
Yeah, that would have been game over. It took some 10 minutes more. OG got rolling. Xpeke got his first kill before 10 minutes, which was the first time in the split. And once OG is snowballing, there is almost nothing that can stop them, which has been their strength.
And it really didn't help Gambit that they were so low on kills for the majority of that game. I mean, there was a point where the game was 17 kills to 2. Gambit just could never really get anything. They got a dive onto Amazing in the mid lane, but nothing really much more than that.
Yeah, quite unlucky for them. Very, very convincing from OG. And it's almost time for us for our game of the week, as Fnatic looks to match their LCS win streak record against H2K. And before we go, earlier we asked, what do you think makes a top-tier team and why? And Schleia actually tweeted, hello Tony, good atmosphere, good organization, and good draft makes a top-tier team so players can focus solely on the game. Yeah, draft is something we touched on already, and definitely not lying.
I definitely agree with the atmosphere. If you see all these teams, they have a lot of camaraderie in there, and I think Tony, our beau gosse, as we say in French, is absolutely right on the money there. In addition to what we mentioned earlier, you need all those factors, and then you need to have it consistently as well, and I think that's showing, especially in H2K and in Fnatic, and mostly to an extent Origen as well.
Yeah, and in H2K, there's actually a cool article over on lolesports.com about the bromance between Hjarnan and Cussing, so go check that out, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with Fnatic versus H2K.
How sorry will you be right now, huh?
Yeah, what do you do?
And oh, look at this, dude!
Oh my god, amazing. Can you put the volume of Amazing lower? Actually, can you just mute him?
Holding on to it, Sanguine pulls out. Sanguine pull is not going to be enough. The Prey Seeker does though. Amazing, finds the kill.
Go. I'm behind him, I can flank. Fuck him! Ult me. No, don't. Ult me now. Okay, go now. No smite.
The headbutt pulverized combo. Betsy spur rushing away with Expector out. Can Niels clean up? And the simple answer is yes. Origen clearly hold on to third.